Hey, Cavs fans. Welcome to another episode of the Cavs Pick and Roll podcast, the podcast for Kevin Love fans. I'm Alex, and I am here with Corey. Well, Corey.
Well, it's Alex, unfortunately, the end of an era. I see you rocking the K-Love jersey. Pretty sure you have a drink nearby or two. And I know you're given it's going to be hard for you to fall asleep tonight. Man, this was not news I expected to wake up to today, Alex.
Yeah, I was as shocked as you. Even during our last episode, we kind of talked about, Kevin Love's been sitting out for a few games.
Yeah.
He's probably on the trading block. That's what they tend to do. I'm betting, they couldn't move him. He's not getting minutes. So they're buying him out, is the word on the street.
You're holding on to hope, though, right?
Yeah, I'm bummed. Yeah, I'm optimistic.
Well, you said
at this point, it's still just a rumor, Corey. It's all rumors.
Right before we hit record, Alex goes, "You know what? It isn't official yet." He's like, "Maybe we shouldn't talk about this yet." I'm like, "Get out of here! Everybody's talking about this."
It's not official, Corey. It hasn't happened. As of this recording, he is still a Cleveland Cavalier.
It's time to let go, Alex. It's time to say goodbye. It's time to say goodbye. But yeah, no, it's crazy because right after the trade deadline ended, the Cavs didn't make any moves, and then you start to see the reports come out that there's no plans for a Kevin Love buyout. He was still sitting. I had mentioned on the last episode, I thought it was because they figured, you know what, he's still not right from his thumb injury. Let's just let him sit till the All-Star break, and then see where we're at from there. And then things changed. He was told he's going to be out of the rotation. What I would love to know, Alex, was he told that was a temporary thing until he gets right again, gets healthy again? Or was he told you're done for the year? I highly doubt the Cavs would have approached it that way. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the one piece we don't know yet. But what ended up happening was Kevin Love said enough of this, and before the 76ers game, asked for a buyout. And I was telling you at work, I was telling you today at work that the only thing that made sense with all of this is if it was Kevin Love that actually requested this. And that's what ended up happening.
That's heartbreaking, Corey.
I know.
That's tough because, I can't believe they took him out of the rotation completely. Like, he's still like one of our best 3-point shooters. He's got great court vision. He's, he can hit that outlet pass. He's still a great playmaker. He's a defensive liability, but at the same time, he's only playing 12 minutes a game. And when you do put him in, he's got all that veteran leadership. He's a great locker room guy. It's a tough loss for this team, in my opinion, for a very young team about to make a long, deep playoff run.
Yeah, that's what bothers me the most about this is the timing of all this. Kevin Love's contract was up at the end of this year, and we were talking, and I've seen other people online saying like, "Oh, it'd be great if Kevin Love re-ups, obviously on a discount." I even saw people saying if he finished his career here in Cleveland. But if he would have stepped away this summer after whatever the playoff run ends up being, and he would have decided to go elsewhere, I could have lived with that. But the middle of the season, while the team is good again and about to go on that playoff run that you're talking about, it's gut wrenching to lose a vet presence like that, who, yes, is struggling, but we all know Kevin Love would have had a few breakout performances. Like, there would have been a Kevin Love game where he would have helped us win a playoff game. He would have went off for 20 and grabbed 12 rebounds or something like that. He would have got hot one night and hit 4 or 5 threes and would have contributed to a win. And he just has that experience. Now we're going to have to watch him probably go to another contender. He's at a point in his career, he's not going to go sign with, some non-playoff team. And we might even see him in the playoffs now, Alex. And that's just going to be tough to watch, to see him in a Miami jersey, in a Celtics jersey. The Warriors are interested. There's always the possibility of the Lakers because of LeBron. Like, part of me wants him to go out west. I don't want to see him I don't want to see him against Miami. I don't want to see him in the East. I really don't.
No, because I can see him checking into a game and
Oh yeah, just
hitting
lighten us up.
two
Yeah,
or three pointers in a row, and I mean he can change the momentum of a game. That's the kind of player he still is, even at 34 years old. Um, Man, I mean, I'm just really surprised. I'm surprised he would want to leave. Um, just I
I
mean,
think
it's hard to it's hard. It's just hard to believe.
it is. It's
This
just
team
very
is
if it's
one Jetty injury or one Dwayne Wade or Dean Wade injury or Lamar Stevens injury away from Kevin Love being right back into the rotation.
yeah, exactly. And we're Cavs fans and we all love Lamar Stevens and Dean Wade. But at the end of the day, that playoff rotation gets pretty short. You're eight, nine guys or so, 10 guys maybe. And what this does is you're heavily relying now on Dean Wade, who, yes, just got a contract, is a younger player, has some nice moments, but again, doesn't have that playoff experience, is young. Just you don't know what's going to happen. Or Kevin Love's been there before, and I don't know. It just feels like an insurance policy, right? If Kevin Love was still around, maybe Dean Wade isn't working out, whatever, or the matchup calls for something different and Kevin Love can come in and take advantage of the matchup or whatever. So it's just, yeah, it's just the timing of all this, I think, is what catches all of us off guard. And it's just going to be tough to watch him put on another uniform and most likely join another team that's going to make a deep playoff run. He's not going to join, you know, a team that's in a play-in scenario. He's going to join one of the top four. He's going to join a title contender. You know what I mean? So
He's going to join the
it's going to be
Knicks,
tough.
Corey. He's going to join
The
the
Knicks.
Knicks.
Man, yeah,
The Pistons.
the Pistons.
Yeah, I really hope that he goes west. I could definitely
Yeah,
see him with the Lakers, man, and rejoining with his boy LeBron.
I
Uh,
that's the not that I want to see any of those scenarios, but that's the one scenario. I was like, all right, you know what? Respect, go do that, go join them. I mean, you're going to play in a play-in game. That's the only problem. It might not get even into the playoffs. That's why I don't see it happening. Like the Warriors are interested. I see that happening. He's really good friends with Klay Thompson, childhood friends. So I could see that being a possibility. That would just be weird. Remember how bad it was when Varejao put on that Warriors jersey? Mark Price back in the day put on that Warriors jersey. Now Kevin Love, I don't know if I can handle that. Just don't
yeah,
know.
maybe he'll
So
join his boy Kyrie on the Mavs.
yeah. Who knows? What is your? I guess one thing I wanted to ask your opinion on, and you're obviously a Kevin Love fan, always have been, even through the dark years. But how would you describe Kevin Love's tenure with the Cavs from your point of view?
I think it's been a great run. Um, Ever since I was honestly going way back. I really wanted to keep Andrew Wiggins. Like I thought he was going to be a really great player, and I wasn't
Yeah,
happy when we made the trade. So yeah, Kevin Love definitely won me over quickly. Um, what a tenure it's been. He's definitely had his moments, a lot of ups and downs. The arm getting pulled out, that playoff run is
oh
definitely
yeah,
very memorable. And then of course, the pinnacle Kevin Love moment, 2016 championship game. He gets
oh yeah.
switched on to Steph Curry and gets the hand up. And Steph
That
misses
video's
the
gotten a lot of
shot.
love. That video's gotten a
Yeah,
lot of love today on Twitter and on social media. His
absolutely.
34-point performance in the first quarter against Portland a couple years ago was another one I saw circulated a lot. Yeah, man. I mean, he's been here 9 years, two-time All-Star, NBA champion. Also, he's in the record books. I was kind of surprised by some of these numbers. Like, wow, he's that high up.
Yeah, you got
But
those in front of you. Like, what
yeah,
are
yeah.
some of the?
I'm gonna read them off now. For the Cavs franchise, he's ninth in points. He's third in playoff points. That's one that jumped out to me. Third in playoff points. Sixth in rebounds. Third in playoff rebounds. second in 3-pointers made. That was another one that jumped out at me. Like, wow, I didn't think he was that high
Did
up.
you say second?
Second. Yeah.
Wow.
Now I'm relying off of, somebody else that's posting this stuff, but it looks
Okay.
like a reliable account with a big audience. And then the last one is third in playoff 3-pointers made. So he's a little bit higher up there than I thought in some scenarios. And we've talked about this several times now. I think his number gets retired. I think there's no questions asked about that. And I still think that's the case with LeBron and Kyrie as well. But if I had to describe Kevin Love's tenure, I think Cleveland would say it's been a love and hate relationship.
Oh, I hate you, Corey.
Well, I mean, when he came in, we loved it, right? Because, yeah, there was this young Andrew Wiggins kid, but man, you have LeBron come back, you bring in Kevin Love, Kyrie's here already. Like, you saw what was about to happen. This team was going to be serious about making title runs. So there was a lot of excitement around that. And we all loved K Love, and he sacrificed by playing that third man role. But was still, just a good basketball player for those title run years. And then what was another big thing that a lot of fans might have forgotten about, but when LeBron bolted for the second time and Kyrie's already out of here, Kevin Love was the only one out of the three that chose to stay here in Cleveland. And I get it. It's because we threw a boatload of money at him. It was a smart business decision, but still, there was just something about him deciding to pick Cleveland when the other two didn't, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was the Love period. But then what happened was the basketball team wasn't very good when LeBron and Kyrie leaves. Kevin Love's performance drops off, injuries kick in, and you realize he's making $30 million a year, and you're like, what the heck? That's where the hate years come in, right? But then he redeemed himself last season, and he looked good early in the season, and then the thumb injury happened, and he's been out for a while. Sure, he's getting older, but again, he would have been able to contribute to this team in a playoff run, and this team is going to be a playoff contender for years to come. So it would have been kind of cool to see him, re-up this offseason for another 2-year contract or something, and just kind of be there from title run to bottom of the barrel back to
Mm-hmm.
title run again. Like, you don't see
Yeah.
that very often. You don't see
Right.
that.
He stuck with us through a rebuild,
Yeah.
and to leave right on the cusp of seeing that rebuild going all the way through to the end. It's tough that he would leave at this point. Like, if he
He
wants
want
another ring, like this team is probably one of the best chances to get to do that.
he wants to play. I mean, that's what's being reported, and that's where I go back to, okay, that conversation where JB, whoever, pulls Kevin Love aside and says, you're now out of the rotation. In what context was that? Because to me, again, it feels silly that the Cavs, even if it was their intention to sit him the rest of the year, tell him that. That's just foolish to do that. But Kevin Love obviously took it that way, or he sat long enough to where he felt so disrespected that he's done at this point. You know what I mean? So it's just unfortunate. I think it's just unfortunate that an injury ultimately led to where we're at now, where he's yanked out of the rotation. And that's what a lot of the non Kevin Love fans will remember him for, is the injuries, and he's soft and he's making too much money. And like, he's going out on that kind of scenario, you know what I mean? Instead of going out after a deep playoff run or something like that, you know what I mean? It's just not the way you wanted it to happen.
Right. Maybe it's hard to say. It's difficult to know what his mindset is. I mean, I know he wants to play, but where else is he going to go that he's going to get a ton of minutes and still be on a championship contender? He's 34 years old. He's towards the end of his career. He might have 2 or 3 years left on some vet minimum contract. Why wouldn't you finish it out in Cleveland, where
Yeah.
your number is going to be retired likely? And
Right.
I don't know. It's just hard to
And
believe.
what else is going to be tough, Alex? I know it's going to be a tearjerker of a tribute. He's real big on the Player Tribune and writing stuff like that. He's going to write something pretty good for Cleveland, thanking and farewell and all that stuff. And it's just like, man, that's going to be gut wrenching too. because then it's really real at that point. And yeah, it's just funny, man, because I was a guy that, when we started this podcast, we it was like we said, it was after the title run years. LeBron had already left, so I ripped Kevin Love for 2.5 years, and last year I finally came around again, and now it's just tough that he's moving on. Just one of those guys that I saw the scenario, I saw the possibility was there if he wanted to finish his career here in Cleveland. And man, yeah, I don't know. There's not many players. We'd have to go through and look how many players have played for the organization for 10, 12, 15 years or something crazy like that. There's probably not a ton of them. So it would have been cool if he was kind of put in that category. But here we are. Here we are. So
So now we're gonna have a roster spot open. Who are we filling it with that was as good or could make as much impact as Kevin Love?
yeah, you're not gonna. I don't know what they're gonna do with that. Um, I don't know. It feels like whatever they do, it won't fill the gap that Kevin Love can potentially give you. So I don't know. Do you want Serge Ibaka, Alex? Does that do anything
Uh,
for you?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Probably not. Well,
Probably not.
I
They need
don't know.
another
Can
big
he
though.
can
They
he
need
still
another
play
big.
defense? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Carmelo Anthony's still out there somewhere.
I'd rather bring back Jr. Give me Jr. Give me Jr. Smith, Channing Frye. There you go.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about Jr. That would
He's younger,
destroy the
man. He's like
locker room.
32. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. So we'll see what ends up happening with Kevin Love, man. It's just tough. But speaking of transactions, that was the biggest one. But the trade deadline occurred in between our last recording. The Cavs were one of only two teams that didn't make a trade, Alex, but they did make a move in the days that followed after contract buyout started to happen. And what do you think about the move that they made to bring back a former Cavalier, Danny Green?
Yeah, Danny Green. Well, it's tough. It's tough, man. Danny Green is 35 years old. He's a year older
Yeah,
than Kevin Love. He's coming off of an ACL tear.
right.
He did get a few minutes in the game
Last game.
last night against the Sixers, and he looked okay. I mean, you wouldn't know that he was coming off an ACL tear, I guess. He didn't do a whole lot, but, I'm sure he's trying to figure out where he fits on the team.
Oh
First
yeah.
game and everything, but yeah, I don't know. I guess I've never been a
You got
very
your
big
shooter.
Danny
You got
Green
you got your
fan.
shooter.
I've never been a very big Danny Green fan because he's always been on an enemy team. I mean, he was with the evil Spurs, he was with the evil Lakers, he was with the evil Raptors. Like
Yeah, the
he's just
Raptors
been
for
this.
sure.
He's
Yeah.
been like Darth Vader for
Maybe he's just a
how many
spy for the
years?
Raptors. Maybe he's just a spy for the Raptors and he's just joining here so he can figure out our playbooks, and then he rejoins them in the summer. And you know what I think of when I think of Danny Green? I think way back when he was a rookie, back in 2009.
Hmm.
And this was when the Cavs were a good team, title aspirations. Delonte West is there. A lot of energy. And that team would do a lot of. Do you remember like the family photos that they would do, where they would like LeBron would act like he has a camera in his
Yeah,
hand, and
I
they would
remember
all
that.
pose, and like Danny Green being like the rookie and stuff like that. Like he didn't really ever play because again we were chasing titles, not worried about playing the Danny Greens of the world. But he would be front and center and all those things, and that's what I just remember him of, just like that goofy rookie, just trying to fit in, and trying to make his mark by just doing silly poses and stuff like that. And Donovan Mitchell actually posted a pretty funny gift of Danny Green and LeBron like dancing, and Danny, it just looks ridiculous. And he just put "welcome back" and then like a laugh emoji with it. But that's what I remember
Yeah,
of Danny Green, was just him just acting a fool and getting garbage time because he was a rook.
I'll have to look for that. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I wish we
Yeah.
would have held on to him, right?
Yeah, hey, there's a couple guys. Like, there's a couple guys when I think back to that era. Danny Green, heck, even Shannon Brown had a decent career. Jason Capono, another shooter. Like,
Hmm.
there's a couple guys that during those title run years, they were young guys at the end of the bench. Anyways, it's too bad we didn't hold on to them because some of them turned into to pretty serviceable NBA players. But hey, you know, it is what it is. But I feel it's a low risk kind of move with a potential of a high reward, right? Like you said, he's 35, coming off a major injury. He's only played 3 games this year before last night. So it's like, how well is he going to move out there? But, if he could play that Kyle Korver type role and come playoff time, knock down some threes for you, hey, by all means, I was pretty happy that they were able to get him, and it's a cool story that he's returning back to where his career started.
Yeah, yeah, totally. It's cool that he's coming back to Cleveland after we're the team that drafted him. So
Right.
I suppose I like that aspect of it. I just don't know. I guess the thing is I don't see it as a very impactful signing. Like, okay, he's a
Yeah.
veteran. He's got some championship rings. He's championship caliber. Yeah, he's kind of filling the role that Kevin Love is had or is just leaving.
Yeah.
It's kind
It would have
of
been nicer to get a little bit younger guy. Like when Terrence Ross got bought out, that's who I like. I wanted him. Has a little more energy, can do a little more things around the rim, things like that. Not coming off a major injury, but then he got snatched up. I think it was the Suns. So, and then that same day, the Danny Green news broke. So I was still satisfied with it, but agree. I don't know. I don't know what level of expectations to set for him because I don't know what he's going to be able to do at this point in his career. But it's a cool story, and we'll see. Hopefully, he can help out. I don't know what the Cavs are going to do now with the open roster spot. I doubt they're going to bring in another shooter. They have to go kind of a big at this point. So they're kind of
maybe
you're kind of rolling with Danny at this point.
maybe that open roster spot. Maybe we can get 10 seconds of Andrew Bogut.
I think it was 9, to be honest with you. I don't even know if it was 10. I don't know if he hit double digits or not.
I think we
I
get
wonder if
10
that's a
seconds this
record. I
time.
wonder if that's a record like for the franchise. And like, where do I find this stuff? Like CavsHistory.com is great, but they don't have stuff like this. But what player in Cavs history played the least amount of time in franchise history? Bogut has to be. He has to be it, right? I
Gotta
mean,
be
it's gotta be. It was the
Dylan
first
Windler.
50. It happened within the first like 54 seconds of the game. Like, oh man, that was
Who's been
brutal.
on the
That was
Cavs
brutal.
roster the longest and played the fewest games? Like that's got to
That
be
too,
Windler,
like
right?
that's the type of stuff that you can't find on basketballreference.com. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, probably Windler. Hey, he was set active. He played for the Charge last night.
I
And he
watched a
was
Charge game because it was on TV. I think
yeah,
2 nights ago.
right?
I saw Diakite got quite a few minutes. I was
Yeah.
hoping to see some of the other players that the Cavs had in summer league play, but I didn't really recognize anybody else that took the court.
Mhm.
But it's totally different watching a Charge game on
Oh
TV.
yeah.
Just the
It, it's
level of
it's
play
it's
is significantly lower. Like I was shocked to see guys just repeatedly getting blocked in the paint and the
it's
turnovers and
it's brutal too because like every once in a while I'll catch a game and it's brutal too because there's just nobody in the stands. Like there's more I feel like there's more parents at my kids' basketball games at
yeah,
the rec center than what there is there. Like you just see like a random like security guard sitting at courtside. You know what I mean? It's just yeah, it's night and day for sure. But Windler got some burn. He only played like 6 minutes, I think, and he was set to active. I think 2 games ago, he was made active. He didn't play obviously against the Spurs, but we'll see. Maybe he gets to a point to where he gets a couple minutes. But the problem is I feel like he doesn't have enough time to earn a roster spot with how much time is left in the regular season and when we get to the playoffs. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. I don't have any expectations for
I
Windler.
was shocked at how few people were in the stands at that Charge game. I was
Like
surprised.
you and I can probably
Like
go.
I
I
would
wonder
love
what
to
they
go to a
cost,
game.
and we could be kings sitting courtside, center, waving to the camera every time they dribble by because nobody else is going to be there. Like, we should totally do that.
We should do that. That would be fun. You know who I was really hoping to see play was Luke Travers. Is he on the
Yeah.
charge? I thought that he was.
I thought
I didn't
I
see
thought
him
I
play.
heard
But
I thought I
he's the one that
heard that
kind of looks like he's kind of got that Larry Bird,
Joe Dirt. Yeah,
yeah,
Joe
Joe
Dirt.
Dirt look to him.
I heard that we send him back overseas, I thought, early, not too long after like Summer League had ended. Because he played in Summer League, he did a couple nice things, and everybody's like, ooh and ah. And then, like, less than a couple weeks later, like, he didn't make the charge roster. And I thought they sent him back overseas. I could be wrong
Oh,
on that.
huh.
But yeah, it would be cool to see him. It's always cool seeing a couple guys you at least know, right?
Yeah.
It's also rough when you don't know anybody out there. But yeah, we'll have to look
Yeah.
into tickets, Alex. I'd be curious to
Diakite
see. They got to
was
be dirt
the
cheap.
only player that I recognized.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
loosely watching it, but
Speaking of watching games on TV legally, um,
oh, legally.
that Pistons game a week or two back was the first game that I saw, at least, that was on FuboTV, and I
Hmm.
was so excited. I was so excited. I
Oh yeah.
texted you. I texted my other friends. I posted online about it. I was so pumped. And you've been watching games on Fubo TV too, right? You did the 7-day trial, right?
Yeah, so I did this. I did the 7-day trial, and I'm sticking with it. I ended up
All
actually
right.
canceling my YouTube TV, and yeah, I'm gonna give Fubo TV a run. It's just been so much better being able to DVR the games and wait an hour and start watching them, so I can fast forward through all the commercials, or even rewatch the game the next morning. Or
Oh yeah.
it's just nothing beats it. Like I can't go back to not having Cavs games on TV and being able to DVR them and
Although
watch the pregame and the postgame shows. Like,
yeah, well, yeah, exactly. And like for me, like more times than not, I'm just watching it on my phone or like something like that. Because like trying to cast it to my TV, it's already a bad enough stream on my phone. Casting it to a TV would be even worse. So now it's just that comfort of knowing I have a reliable way to watch games now. you know. And although I won't complain because you were kind enough to let me use your YouTube TV, I wish you would have held on to it for one more week, because this is typically the time when when NBA TV, which is on YouTube TV, goes crazy with all their All Star stuff.
I still
The
have
slam dunk
NBA TV,
contest.
Corey.
How do you still have NBA TV?
I have it added on to the Fubo TV package.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
See, my brother-in-law doesn't have that,
there
so
was like a little $7.99 add-on that added another, I think, 60 channels.
ooh,
And I'm just testing it to see how, you know,
okay,
are any of these channels I'm going to watch. But one of them is NBA TV. One of them is NHL TV.
mm.
FXM, which is like a ton of good movies,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, a few other channels that I think make it worth it. So
Very nice, very nice.
yeah.
But yeah, this time of year they're always really good at showing a lot of All Star games, slam dunk contests. Like, it's good content, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna be able to watch that.
So you got
But
to
it's
tell
all
your
good.
brother to get the $7.99 package.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Or I'll say, hey, I'll pay you the $10 a month, add this on, or something like that. At least I could do. What's funny is I saw him not too long ago for like a family event, and I was like, hey, did you know? Because he's like, how about them Cavs? I'm like, yeah, I've been enjoying watching them. Did you realize your bill went up though? He had no idea what was going on. So I was like, yeah, your bill went up probably about $15. He's like, really? He's like, I'll have to look into that.
Wait, why would his oh because of the RSN fee? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He had no idea. So it tells
Yeah,
you
it
how
probably
often
went
he's
up a lot more than that because
probably.
they had a $5 price hike, and then and then the
It was
fifteen
like another
dollars for the
$10 after that.
RSNs. Yeah,
Fifth was a 15.
it jumped like $20. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's cool. It's great being able to watch Cavs games again legally. So been enjoying that. And the Cavs are getting some games on nationally televised stations as well. And they had one here recently against the Philadelphia 76ers, Alex, and they laid
I
a
don't want to
egg.
talk about this game. That game was trash. It was terrible.
What do you
They
think
they
happened though, man? I
they were
mean,
so
they're on a
bad. They
six.
just came out so bad, so flat. Like
Yeah,
just seemed like they didn't have any energy. Like atrocious turnovers. I don't know how many turnovers they had where they just basically passed the ball to the other team.
yeah.
Uh, oh, it was bad. It was bad.
It was bad. Yeah, and here's the crappy part about that is the Cavs were on a 6-game winning streak prior to that, right? They kind of had an easier schedule, which helped. But man, it they had some momentum going, and the 76ers were a game ahead of you in the standings for the 3rd seed. Cavs are the 4th seed. You win that game, not only do you go into All-Star break on a 7-game win streak, but you're also sitting in the 3rd seed. Like that was an opportunity to be a statement game, in my opinion. Is it the end of the world that they lost it? No. Is it the end of the world that they lost it in the way they did? Technically no, because I can convince myself that, you know what, the team was just ready for All-Star break and they just mailed in that game. Like, I don't want to overanalyze it and say, oh my gosh, the Cavs have problems, they have holes. You know, they do come out of the gate after the All-Star break against some tough teams. They got Denver, they got Atlanta, they got Toronto, and then the Celtics. So again, you lose that game to the 76ers. You don't want to come out and go one for 3 out of the next 4 games or something like that. So it just would have been nice to continue that momentum into the All-Star break, have that 3rd seed, and come out of that All-Star break with some swag to you. Denver's what I think they're the first seed, the number 1 seed in the West. So that's going to be a tough first game to come back from after relaxing for a couple of days off. So it's just a missed opportunity. And the 76ers just got up big early and they never looked back. And yeah, the Cavs kind of made it a little bit of a game at the end, but it was just too big of a deficit. They were down 20 plus by halftime.
Yeah.
It was over. It was over.
They
And it's just
yeah.
bad too. It
By
was a nationally
halftime it
televised
was
game. Yeah, it
yeah.
was done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just a poor performance. They were just getting smoked. Um, boy, there was a really bad call by the officials that sticks in my memory. Mitchell went to close out a 3-point shot, and the shooter stuck his feet out. Mitchell didn't even cross the 3-point line, but they called him for the foul. They reviewed it and called it a
Flagrant.
flagrant. It's
Yep.
like, what are they watching? I don't understand. I didn't
Yep.
understand that at all.
It's a new. I
That
think
made
I
me
heard during
crazy.
one of the broadcasts. It's a newer rule that got implemented either this season or last. Because that's happened a couple times. I've watched it. Like basically, if you enter their space as they're coming down, which is naturally going to cause someone to fall back, they more times or not will rule that as a flagrant foul, which is BS because you know when you shoot a basketball, you can go straight up, but you can also, if you know how and you're strong enough, you can shoot and kind of kick your feet out too, and kind
Hmm.
of initiate that contact. In my opinion, like what do you want the defender to do in that case?
Right.
So
Well, I mean,
it's
in the
just
replay, you could see Mitchell never crossed that 3-point line.
yeah,
So how was
exactly.
he in the
He
shooter's
wasn't. He
space
wasn't.
if the shooter was shooting a 3-pointer?
Right.
If
Exactly.
he was in the shooter's space, then that was a 2-pointer.
Yeah. Yep.
No.
Yeah, it was just a bad game. I never been crazy about the 76ers. They got James Harden, so I'll add them to your enemy list that you were
There we
talking
go.
about earlier. And they're a potential playoff foe, right? Like there's somebody that we could potentially cross paths with at some point. So again, it just would have been a great opportunity to win that game, but Cavs just got to move on and figure out how to come out of the gate and get that momentum going again. It feels like there hasn't been many times this year, Alex, where they're on 4, 5, 6 game winning streaks. I think we all felt that was going to be like a pretty consistent thing. So let's hope that they don't go, another month or two before that happens again. Like come
Right.
out the gate, figure out a way to go, 3-1 out of those first 4 and reestablish that swag and keep that momentum going. You got Pistons after that. That's a winnable game, obviously. And man, it's time to make that playoff push. You got to secure that home seed and make sure none of these teams behind you somehow creep up.
All right. They've always seemed to struggle with away games too. Like their home record is immaculate,
Yeah.
but these
Yep.
away games, they got to figure out a way to win on the road, or they're not going to
Right.
go as far
That's
as they
gonna
need
be
to.
yeah. That's not, otherwise they're gonna have problems come playoff time.
Yeah,
They might get out of the first round, but that second round, and all of a sudden you're matched up, with a Philadelphia or the Celtics or whatever it's gonna be, and you're not good on the road. That's gonna be challenging because those teams are higher than you in the seedings, and that game 7, if it goes that far, is going to be on the road. So you need to figure out ways to be better and win games like that. And it just felt like they just weren't dialed in. They just weren't focused. And again, I'm gonna chalk it up as everybody was just looking forward to that All-Star break. I'm hoping. I don't know.
yeah, I'm
We'll
hoping.
see. Yeah, yeah. But prior to that, man, I mean, they were looking good, playing good basketball. That Spurs game, I mean, they let the Spurs kind of hang around a little bit, but that was at home, and that was a good game. And man, it was just nice to see them rattle off 6 in a row, and everybody's happy when your team is doing that, right?
Right.
Except for Kevin Love. Except for Kevin Love.
Just think if they would have played Kevin Love a few minutes, might have won that 76ers game.
I saw people posting online too. It's like, you know, during some of those games, could there not have been an opportunity to play Kevin Love 5-7 minutes just to see how he looks out there? You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's just a weird ending to that saga, I guess. But they all have been weird. Kyrie, the way he left,
Mm-hmm.
LeBron, leaving the first
Yeah.
time and the second time, like it's never, I guess, normal.
JR throwing soup.
Throwing soup, man.
Kevin
Throwing
Love,
soup.
he had that incident where he inbounded the ball angrily, and
Yeah,
the other team grabbed it and laid it up.
right, right.
Yeah,
It's just
good
crazy.
stuff.
But yeah, so we'll see what happens here after the All-Star break. But speaking of the All-Star break, All-Star weekend is upon us. Do you get excited for these things still, Alex? Like do you watch like all the events still? I remember growing up as a kid, man. I watched it all. The celebrity game, the MTV Rock and Jock game. Remember those back in the
Yeah, yeah,
day? That was
yeah.
like the celebrity game. I still every once in a while, because some of those games are on YouTube, I'll look them up. Just every once in a while, I'll watch a couple minutes of it, and then just get a couple laughs out of it, like back in like the '90s and stuff, like MTV style. Then you got the usually the rookie game. They call it Rising Star game. You have the dunk contest, the 3-point contest. Man, All Star Weekend, that used to be the thing. Used to look forward to that. Do you still watch all that?
Yeah, yeah, I still typically watch it. I'll set the DVR to record that stuff. I haven't really looked in to see like who's going to be participating in the dunk contest or 3-point contest or skills challenge yet. As far as I know, there's not really anybody on the Cavs that's
No.
partaking, so I'm not that into it, but I'll probably watch it.
Yeah, the what's his name? I'm looking it up now. Come on.
Do you know who's in the dunk contest at all? Because that's
I
usually
don't I don't know any of them, and that's the same. That's the problem, right?
that's always kind
It's
of the
all
highlight.
it's all young guys that you don't know. Um, Hang on, I'm getting there. 3-point contest. No Wesley Person in the
Yeah,
3-point
lately it's
contest,
been
so,
a lot of
so I'm not watching that.
young guys you don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Participants:
Can
KJ Martin. There's a big name down in Houston Rockets. They couldn't get Kevin Porter Jr., I guess. Trey Murphy the third, New Orleans Pelicans. No Zion. I know he's
mm-hmm.
hurt, but there's another missed opportunity. Jeroko Sims, New York Knicks.
Jericho.
Jericho Sims. Okay, whatever. Jeroko.
Mac McClung?
Yeah, and that's the guy I wanted to call out. I don't know if you've probably seen videos of him like on Facebook, like highlight videos. You just probably the name probably isn't registering, but he's a white guard who has some game. I mean, he has some hops. Like his highlight videos are entertaining. Every once in a while, I'll be scrolling on Facebook and I'll come across one and I'll be like, all right, yeah, he has some hops. He could do some things. He played like he'll play a game in the NBA and then he's out of the NBA. He played for the Lakers, I think, a game or two. I think he was with the Warriors at some point.
Hmm.
and he just got picked up by the 76ers, I want to say, but he was actually in the G League when this was announced that he was going to be in the dunk contest because he was going to be the first G League participant in NBA history. And then just a day or so ago, it announced that like the 76ers were signing him
Oh
to a
wow.
contract. I don't know what type, if it was like a 10-day contract or what, but he's just a dude obviously trying to make it in the NBA. And this would be a big shine moment for him if he can somehow, win that thing. I think just by natural, by natural, he'll be kind of somewhat a fan favorite because he's kind of that underdog. But he's the only guy that I know out of that bunch.
Huh.
And that's the problem. It's not who everybody wants to see
Yeah.
is the problem, and has
Well,
been
it
the problem
used
for
to be
quite a
back in the
while.
day. It just used to be big names, right? I mean, it was all stars that were in the all
It
star
was all
dunk
stars,
contest.
yeah, and it would be deep too. I mean, it would be 8 guys, 8, 9, 10 guys deep, and there'd be 3 rounds. 4 guys. It's like I don't
I feel
know.
like it really changed when LeBron never went into the dunk contest, and then it seemed like none of the other stars did the dunk contest. It seems like
Yeah,
I don't know
like
if he influenced that or if it's just the timing of it or what, but
yeah, I don't know. And like people would argue, like, okay, well, Dwight Howard back in the day, remember he put on the Superman cape and did that whole bit.
mhm,
He was pretty big at that time still because he was in Orlando. He was still one of the better centers in the league, but he still wasn't just the guy. You know what I mean? And like it wasn't like you had like Kobe did it, Vince Carter did it. Like
mhm.
to me, that was
Jordan.
the last era when Carter and Kobe did it, where it felt like okay, the main guys, like the face of the NBA, was doing it. Dwight Howard was always that B superstar player. It wasn't the LeBron. We got Dwight instead. You know, Zach LaVine, heck of a jumper. Aaron Gordon, heck of a jumper, and they put on one heck of a slam dunk contest, probably one of the better ones in the last 10 years. But still, people, it's not that those top names, and it's just kind of decreased since then. And it's like, who are these guys? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So it's just hard to draw a lot of interest to it. The 3-point contest, you at least get some names that
Yeah, I was
you're
just
aware
looking
of.
at that list, man. There's some
It's
big names
solid.
in the 3-point contest. Like,
It's
wow.
solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damian
Yep.
Lillard,
Lillard. Yeah.
Tatum,
Yeah, Lillard's in there. Jason Tatum, Tyler Hero,
M-
Buddy
M-
Hield.
Markkinen.
Marketing. Look at that. And Marketing is, I don't know if you saw this, but he actually got bumped up to a starter for the Western Conference team. Somebody got injured. I forget who. There was a couple injuries out there. And he got bumped to he's going to start that game. He's going to look to show out. And obviously, the game is in Utah. So he'll have the fans on his side. What was disappointing to me, though, was I saw a day or two back that Donovan Mitchell was actually asked to be one of the participants in the 3-point contest, and he shot it down, Alex. He shot it down.
Ah, why not? I wonder why.
Yeah, I don't know either. And man, just a missed opportunity, I feel, especially since like it's in Utah. It's where he's basically played his whole career. It would have been cool. I think it would have been cool him going back there and him participating in the 3-point contest.
Yeah.
But whatever. So, we kind of have a light representation this year. Um, the skills challenge. I don't know if you saw that. Colin Sexton's. There's,
Oh, is he?
yeah. So there's
Oh, that's
there's a
cool.
there's a team Antetokounmpo, like Giannis and his brothers. Then there's Team Jazz, which has Jordan Clarkson, Colin Sexton, and Walker Kessler. No idea who that is. And then they have Team Rooks, which is like Jabari Smith Jr., Jaden Ivey, and the kid down in Orlando, whoever the number one pick, I can never say his name. So they kind of have it like themed this year for the teams, for the participants for the skills challenge.
Okay.
So
Yeah, all
yeah,
these sound pretty good. I'm interested.
yeah,
I'll be
it's basketball,
watching.
man. Oh, I'll always be interested, especially when that's going to be the only basketball on. So I'll catch what I can. I'll be out of town. But during the flights, they'll have all this stuff on there, so I'll be able to catch this stuff. But
Set the DVR. Set your brother's DVR.
yeah, yeah.
He won't notice.
Do you have any predictions on how Mitchell will do? You want to call out his stat line right now?
For the All-Star game?
Yeah, man, he's going back to where it all started. I don't know. I feel like he might want to try to show out.
I don't know. Now that he had the opportunity to be in the three-point contest and didn't even take it, like I don't know that he's going to show out. I think he's just kind of there to chill and hang
I don't
out with
know.
his Utah buddies.
I think he'll get 20 plus. I'll say 20 plus is what I'll say.
I'm going to shoot low and say
15.
14 points, 6 assists.
Yeah.
That's two steals, something like that.
Yeah. We'll see. Hopefully he I would love just go it'd be nice if he just went crazy too, but I think that'd be cool. But marketing, man, he's the guy you got to watch out for. He's the guy you got to watch out for.
Yeah. I've been playing this new mobile game on my phone called NBA All World, and it's basically they took Pokemon Go and they reskinned it with NBA players. So now I go walking outside and I capture NBA players. But I got Laurie Marketing, I got Kevin Love, I got Mitchell, I got Garland. I've just been collecting these NBA players. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. I know. But
Alex just goes outside and he just like the neighbors are just
it's funny. It's
like
just like Pokemon.
It's like 30 degrees
identical
out.
to Pokemon Go. Like you'll be walking and a NBA player will just pop up out of the ground and you'll tap on them and then you'll be thrown into some shooting drill where you got to beat them to capture them. And then once you capture them, you can start using them and leveling them up, and you can enter tournaments.
How do you get to use them? Like, is there like little mini games or like?
Yes.
How does that?
Yeah, there's mini games. So you choose a player to be your current active player, and that's the player that you use against other players to capture them or add them to your roster. I don't know why I keep saying capture them. It's kind of creepy, but add them to your roster.
That's interesting.
But it's Pokemon Go, man. It's you energize them. You can get stat boosts for them. You enter tournaments where you can unlock clothing and
do they have like
that.
Do they have
customize
any like
your players?
Do they have any like classic players, like throwback players?
Not yet.
Or is it all current? Is it all current?
Right now, it's all current, and it's very few. Like I don't know how many players are actually in the game right now. Maybe there's not very many. Maybe 80. Maybe only 80 players. So they left plenty of room to have players, whether add-ons to keep you coming back, whether that's seasonal or historic or whatever they want to do. I know they're having an event for the All-Star game.
Are they?
All-Star weekend, yeah. There's going to be some All-Star versions of players, I think, and they're also adding like some All-Star uniforms that you can unlock and that kind of stuff.
That's smart. That's smart to time it that way. I know like 2K, I keep seeing stuff pop up for that they're doing, new packs and things like that. It's always smart to time that stuff around real life events. But
this is all free to play though. I haven't paid a dime.
That's good. That's good. Let me know when they add Sean Kemp, and then maybe I'll download it.
All right, I'll be on the lookout for him. Kevin Love's on there.
Yeah, well, it's time to set him free, Alex.
No way.
I'm not set him free.
I'm not releasing him. There are some players that every time I get them, I release them. Like Markel Fultz. Like why is this guy like? I battle him just for the experience points, but then I always cut him as soon as I capture him. Back in the
day, man, number 1 pick.
Terrible. It's terrible.
Terrible.
Oh, and who's the guy that Mitchell got in the fight with?
Dylan Brooks.
Brooks. Oh, I release Brooks every time I get him. Every time he's on the roster, I release him. Can't stand him.
That's awesome.
What a punk.
That's funny. What's it called again, so people can go check it out if they want?
It's called NBA All World. It's a mobile phone game. Yeah. It's Pokemon Go. Gets you outside. You can walk around. You can. There's like
exercise.
There's like there's like it's just like Pokemon Go, right? So you got your gyms. You got your places that you can walk to a park. Any park that has like a basketball court, there's like a gym, and you can get collectibles, sunglasses, different shoes, different socks, shorts, shirts to customize your players. It's got all that stuff.
Cool. Well, if you're into that, go check that out, Cavs fans. I was never really a big Pokemon guy back in the day. So.
No, I tried playing it a few times, but I couldn't get into it. I never could figure
Yeah.
out what you're supposed to do. It's like, okay, I've captured like 4 of this one type. What am I supposed to combine them? Am I supposed to just keep releasing them? I don't know. The kids know how to play it. I could never figure it out.
Exactly. Well, good stuff, Alex. I think we'll go ahead and wrap up this episode of the Cavs Pick and Roll podcast. Want to thank you, Cavs fans, as always, for tuning in and listening. And Alex, you want to let them know where they can follow us and connect with us?
Follow us on Twitter at Cavs Pick and Roll. We have a Facebook page, Cavs Pick and Roll Podcast. Shoot us an email, cavspickandroll@gmail.com. We have Instagram. We have, I don't know what else you got there, Corey. We got YouTube, Tumblr or something.
Yeah. Tumblr, man. Starting to see some people liking video photos and stuff on Tumblr and
really?
stuff. Starting to get some interaction there.
I gotta get in on that. Yeah. Follow. Yeah, check out, if you're an audio listener, check out our YouTube channel. You can watch us, our goofy mugs talking to you.
Right. It's good stuff. It's always fun jumping on talking Cavs with you, Alex. And let's go ahead and wrap this one up. And Cavs fans, we will talk to you again soon.
Peace out, Cavs fans.
Bye, Kevin.
Bye, Kevin.